Good morning. Welcome to Acceleration. John has gone through a little I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Today we got a little something different. You know, I know we talked about Clover in the past, and we wanted to show you an example. You know, to show you what does Clover look like. Amy actually is the head of our customer support department, and had a situation come up where you actually wrote one of your own accounts.
Yes.
And sold them a Clover. So we're going to use that as a little case study. Want to kind of share with you some of the things that transpired through that sales process and why the merchant went with it. Some of the things that you want to anticipate when you go in to install the equipment. We want to set our table, I guess, for the restaurants. That so we want to make sure that it's as seamless as possible, because I don't sure, and Amy would know much better than myself, but out of all the Clovers we've sold, they've gone from just a standard terminal to a point of sale system, right? So this is something new for the merchants who want to, you know, it's a lot of moving parts compared to just a regular credit card terminal. So this is what it looks like. You can see is we have the touch screen, which you won't be able to see on the video for some reason, but we have the card reader on the side, right? They swipe the transaction. You can see this pivots around for the merchant,
so they can sign it.
So they can sign it. And we'll talk about some of the details of that. But this is what it looks like. Here's our cash drawer, and this is the printer, and really the brains of the terminals in the printer, right?
Yes.
And also in your situation, did you have an additional printer for the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can add printers to this on the networks. We can print out what the order is. So if I'm a server, I come to this piece of equipment. I can choose menu items.
You can put table numbers, how many people per table, each seat number.
Okay, so share with us. You had a friend that owns a restaurant up north in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So what kind of tell us about how it all laid out?
So they wanted a POS. They were looking at a 5-year lease for $200 a month for this fancy dancy thing. So they went from cash register. They were looking into this, a big POS. So we introduced the Clover that does all their reporting. It does all their inventory, tracks their sales. They can punch in and out. Their time clock is on here now. Everything.
Okay, so what kind of volume were they?
10,000 a month is their average volume year round.
So that's kind of in the wheelhouse of the merchants you want to look at that are.
They have 2 printers now. One that'll go on one side of the kitchen, so like breakfast foods and that cook, and then another printer that'll go for pizza making. Okay,
so pizza. Okay, so you talked a little bit about reporting. Like, what kind of reporting can I do with this?
Everything. Whatever you want. It tells you to each item how much you sold of it, to each server how much volume they're bringing.
So I could look, if I had a restaurant, for example, and it doesn't even have to be a restaurant. I mean, it could be a ski shop, or it could be a golf store. It could be any kind of retailer situation.
We just did a convenience store last week.
A convenience store. So I could go in and go, okay, in restaurants, this is real common. I want to go, what's my top selling item? So I can go here and pull a report and go, out of all the items I sold for the month, the fish and chips is my #1 seller, or whatever. So maybe I could use that data to maybe make adjustments on my menu, or drop things off my menu to try other products.
They're excited to see like their specials of the day. What's the best special that they'll rerun again next month? They can pull that report every day.
Okay, so if fish and chips brings in the clientele, then I'm running fish and chips, right? Okay. So in inventory, obviously this would be great. I think we had a situation where I think it was a wine shop or a liquor store, and they loved it because they could carry all their inventory on here. So that there again, they can see what their #1 seller is. Don't carry the lines that aren't selling. You know, they need to move products so they can track this stuff a lot easier.
And this has a barcode scanner to make inventory easy on a store like that.
Okay, so
they can set the barcodes in here and buy the scanner that attaches to this, and just go in their back room and inventory everything, and it'll talk right to the Clover.
Okay, and it'll do inventory management. So when I sell an item, I can pull a report to say, oh, I'm getting low on yellowtail, or whatever it is I'm getting low on, right? So we got a crowd here, so they're laughing. They think that's funny, but we're all wine drinkers, maybe that's why. So I can see what I need to order. So inventory management's key, because I don't have to tie up revenue in inventory. You know, if I'm buying things that aren't selling, I mean, that's money sitting that I'm not using to grow my business. So that's a big one.
And the time clock was huge for this small business. I mean,
okay,
they only have 7-8 employees, so they would handwrite their tickets. Now they're accountable for exactly when they come in and come out, because they punch right in.
Interesting, all from this. Wow. Okay. And orders by table, I guess that would make sense.
Orders by table is huge, because when you do a table number, it'll say 4 people that sit there. So when you go to print that check for the guest, you can hit the whole table or individual checks just with a button. You don't have to do any magic stuff to separate checks, which is huge.
Very okay. And with this too, so I understand, because we have an option with this, right? Where I can either have my customer, I can either email them a receipt or I can
text. When they go to sign, it'll ask them, do you want to email, text, or print a copy?
Oh, I can text too, so SMS. Okay.
Mhm.
So what that allows me to do as a merchant is that I can track my customer information. So if, let's say if I see that, and Amy's a big wine drinker or drinker. I'm kidding. So let's say that I go, okay, Amy's likes yellowtail, whatever. And I see that because I'm tracking your information. I've been emailing you your receipts instead of signing, that I can use that data to market to you and run different promotions. And so basically like a database management kind of system. Okay. Yeah. Wow. That's pretty impressive, actually. That is something that a lot of merchants, they're not up to speed on, especially when you run into these $5,000, $10,000 a month merchants, and making them more efficient or helping them become more efficient, helping them, give them some marketing ideas. Like, look, you can track your customers. You can go from, let's get up to 15,000 a month. How do we do that? And obviously if they do more revenue, more processing, you benefit too. So
one of the funny things for restaurants that she pointed out, the owner said, it will help to have the Clover, because when they hand wrote the tickets, they would get 10 at a time, where now they're forced to line up. It'll help the kitchen run smoother because they are forced to enter one order at a time instead of one person hanging 5 tickets at one time.
Okay, so it makes them more efficient so they can get food to the table quicker.
Absolutely.
Food to the table quicker means the customer eats quicker, the customer's out the door quicker, open table quicker, which means bigger tips, so more efficiencies. Obviously you can sell more product because you're getting more people through there. Let's talk a little bit, because when you get into restaurants, and restaurants are great candidates for this. When you get into restaurants, they have several menu items. And I actually had seen, and I was thinking about this scenario because you shared this, and we'll talk a little bit about it. I was watching some football this weekend. I saw a Domino's commercial. And the Domino's commercial, in essence, said that we have over 30 million combinations of pizzas that you can order. And I guess when you think about that, well, I want half anchovy, I want half pepperoni, so it can get, there's a lot of different choices that have to be put together in that scenario. How do we do that with this? And how do I get the information in there? Because, 30 million choices, I can imagine, and obviously you're mix and matching, but Domino's has a lot of different items. Yeah, so how does that work?
We entered it in like a 2 or 3 or 4 topping pizza. So that's the item. And then they have what they call modifiers. And that is a second tab, and it'll list all your add-on toppings. And then we just implemented the Clover to know on a 3 topping, there's no charge for those first 3. And then anything you added above that added that extra charge. Okay, so you can set up kind of the pricing format, the modifiers in there. Super important when you're selling a Clover to a restaurant to have them build the menu for you. Well, let me ask you, because, touchscreen and I have I must be all thumbs or something, but I can't imagine, how do I get that? Like I said, you go to a restaurant, you look at a menu, there's literally thousands of little things you can put on there. Do you want baked beans? Do you want coleslaw? Do you want mashed potatoes? Do you want okra? What do you want? So how do you get all that information in there? What's the best approach for a merchant, let's say before they go live, to make sure that it's seamless to get the stuff in the system so it's an easy transition for them? And so the first and most important is to send your PDF when you buy the Clover. Have them build it. What do you mean send PDF? So send your menu with the order for the Clover. Okay. Then they put everything in here. Okay. So when we order the Clover, we want to get a menu from the merchant, and we want to send that to the people that ship out the Clovers or whatever. Correct. And they'll make sure that all the information's in there. So when it arrives at the merchant, their menu's in there already? There is. So we did on this one, with my girlfriend up north, we did 2 days of running both ways. Any tweaking had to be done, those modifiers, how do you want your eggs done? We did 2-day trial run just to make sure everything was in there. Okay, and just out of curiosity. It was 2-second add-on. There was a couple things that were missing. Oh, it didn't ask for this kind of toast. It's easy. It took 3 seconds to add it in. So if I put eggs in there, for example, you could have poached eggs, scrambled eggs, over easy, sunny side up, whatever your palate requires. So would I put eggs in there, then the modifiers would be, how do I want them prepared? Correct. Interesting. Okay. So make sure. So let me ask you, on a retail merchant that, let's say a wine store or clothing store, something where it's a SKU issue and not a menu issue, would you do the same thing and send your SKU numbers in? Absolutely. Or so you could do it either way. You could either scan it yourself, which you probably want to have the scanner, right? Because if you're adding new product lines, you're getting rid of ones that don't sell and you're adding new ones. So we want to upsell
to get them a scanner if they're,
Definitely sell them
and that for retail. So we want to add a scanner to that. But either way, they can still send the information in. So when they get it, it's preloaded and ready to go.
Highly recommend.
Okay.
Get the menu items. We've had 2 that chose not to. They're going to just add them as they go.
Okay.
A local restaurant here did it, and it's silly. Let the people, it doesn't cost you anything. Let them do it.
Right, and make it smooth. Make it as smooth as you can for the merchants. I mean, there's tremendous benefit for the merchant. Obviously, we all know the more efficient we are, the more revenue the merchant can generate.
And it's super cool. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, it is super cool, and I think it gives us something else to talk about, because we can talk about efficiencies, we can talk about managing your data, continue marketing out to the people that are coming into your store, because it's hard. In having been in this industry for 20 years and in sales and marketing and things of that nature, when you're dealing with the customer and you're saying, hey, why don't you give me your email? Why don't you give me your phone number? That way I can get a hold of you with specials. People go, no. But when you go here and go, hey, how would you like your receipt? Do you want it emailed, text to you? And I would offer those options first. Would you like your receipt emailed, or would you like to have us text it to you? And they go, well, can you print one? Then I would opt for that, because I want to gather as much data as I can. Because imagine from a retail, especially a restaurant, imagine if everybody that ever came into your restaurant, you had their information that you could send out. Hey, look, come here today. We'll give you $10 off a $40+ meal, or whatever it is. So we can use this. And let's talk about cost for a second. And just kind of, you'd mentioned, because this is high powers. I mean, I think what is this launch NASA? I mean, you could run NASA with this thing. So let's look at that from a dollars and cents perspective of, I think it's return on investment. I mean, all the things that this can do for you. This merchant that you helped out up north, they were looking at a system that was $200 a month.
$200 a month for like 5 years.
Okay, a 5-year lease. I mean, that's a lot of money. So how did they end up getting? Where did we go with that? With them? With this?
Where did we go?
Yeah, what'd you sell it to them for? I mean,
$24.99, and they have 2 per kitchen printers and the Clover.
Okay, for $2,400 instead of, I mean, you're talking $8-10 grand or $10 I guess on the other other option. So what this brings to a merchant for the dollars and cents, I mean. And again, I've been doing this 20 years, and I've seen every freaking terminal, every point of sale system that's come to market. And this thing is what do they say in the car business? The best bang for your dollar, or bang for your buck. This is the best system you can get for the money on the market today. So figure out your targets. And we're running a little promotion. Talk to your agent director. We're running a promotion on this right now. You get a little spiff by getting this out to your merchants. So go to your existing merchants. Go, who your merchants are that process this kind of revenue, or they're in that window of probably 4 to 10, anywhere that and above. Go to these merchants, upgrade them to this stuff. Let's get that merchant, instead of doing 10, let's get them to doing 15. Let's get them to doing 20,000 a month. Show them how to make more money with the services and the values that you're bringing to them.
Yes.
Clover's the way to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks guys. Talk to your agent director. Spiff going on right now. Get these out there, help your customers out, and make a little money and have fun doing it too. So talk to you next week.
Thank you.